Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the darkest corners of the human experience. Tonight we bring you 3 spine-chilling tales from the mysterious world of shadow people. Are they figments of our imagination, or something more sinister, lurking just beyond the veil of reality? Turn off the lights, sit back and prepare to be terrified. Imagine a dilapidated Victorian mansion perched atop a windswept hill. The paint, once glossy black, is now peeling, revealing the rotting wood beneath. Windows, like vacant eyes, stare out blindly, reflecting the dying light of the setting sun. This is no ordinary house. This is a place where darkness lingers, where whispers echo through the empty halls. Our story takes us deep inside, where a group of friends have gathered for a night of thrills and chills. They joke and laugh, their bravado masking a growing unease. The air inside is cold, unnaturally so, and the silence is broken only by the creaking of the house settling around them. One by one they explore the darkened rooms, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive gloom. As they venture deeper, a sense of dread begins to creep in. The shadows seem to twist and writhe, taking on menacing shapes. And then, it happens. One of the friends, a young woman named Sarah, lags behind the group. She's captivated by an old photograph lying forgotten on a dusty table. As she reaches out to touch it, a cold shiver runs down her spine. She feels a presence, something unseen, watching her from the shadows. She turns slowly, her heart pounding in her chest, and there at the edge of her flashlight beam she sees it, a tall, shadowy figure, its form indistinct yet undeniably present. It stands perfectly still, its eyes, if it even has eyes, fixed on her with an intensity that sends chills racing down her spine. Sarah gasps, her breath catching in her throat. She wants to scream, to run, but terror has rooted her to the spot. The shadow figure takes a step closer, and Sarah can feel the coldness emanating from it. For what feels like an eternity, they stand there, locked in a silent battle of wills. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the shadow figure vanishes. It melts back into the darkness, leaving Sarah trembling in its wake. Shaken to her core, Sarah stumbles back to her friends, her mind racing. She tries to explain what she saw, but words fail her. Her friends, skeptical at first, are soon convinced that something is amiss. The atmosphere in the house has shifted, grown heavier, more oppressive. They decide to leave, to escape the suffocating darkness that has enveloped them. They flee into the night, their laughter silenced, their bravado shattered. Our next tale takes us from the decaying grandeur of a haunted house to the supposed safety of a child's bedroom. It is here, in this sanctuary of innocence and imagination, that we encounter the truly unsettling power of shadow people. Imagine a young couple, their hearts filled with the joy of parenthood. They have just welcomed their newborn child, a beautiful baby girl, into the world. Their days are filled with the soft coos and gurgles of their little one, their nights with the gentle rocking of the cradle. One night, as the new mother sits by the crib, her gaze fixed on her sleeping child, she notices something strange. In the periphery of her vision, a dark form seems to flicker in the corner of the room. She dismisses it as a trick of the light, but the next night it happens again. The shadowy figure, taller than a man, seems to materialize out of thin air. It stands motionless in the corner, its form shifting and swirling. The mother, her heart pounding in her chest, tries to focus on the figure. But the harder she looks, the more indistinct it becomes. Fear grips her, cold and paralyzing. She wants to scream for her partner, to scoop her child up and flee the room, but something holds her back. A strange mix of terror and morbid fascination. Night after night, the shadow figure returns, always lurking in the shadows, always watching. The mother is tormented by its presence, her sleep disturbed by nightmares of the shadowy figure reaching for her child. The couple tries everything to rid themselves of the unwelcome visitor. They call in priests to bless the house. They consult with paranormal investigators. They even resort to ancient rituals of banishment. But nothing seems to work. the shadow figure remains, a constant chilling presence in their lives. As the weeks turn into months, the mother begins to notice a change in her child. The once happy and carefree baby is now withdrawn and fearful. She cries inconsolably, her tiny body trembling, her eyes wide with a terror that chills her parents to the bone. One particularly harrowing night, the mother wakes to the sound of her child's piercing screams. Chapter 3. Our final tale takes us out of the confines of a haunted house and into the heart of the city. This is the story of Emily, a young woman living a seemingly ordinary life, unaware that she has become the target of something sinister. It begins subtly, with a fleeting glimpse of movement in the corner of her eye, a whisper of sound that seems to come from nowhere. At first, Emily dismisses these occurrences as nothing more than her imagination playing tricks on her. But as the days turn into weeks, the incidents become more frequent, more persistent. She begins to notice a figure, tall and shadowy, lurking in the background of her daily life. It is always there on the periphery of her vision, watching her, following her. It is a constant, unsettling presence, like a whisper of dread that follows her wherever she goes. Emily tries to rationalize it, to convince herself that she's just stressed, overworked, imagining things, but deep down, a primal fear begins to take root. She feels hunted, stalked by something she can't see, something she can't understand. One evening, as Emily is walking home from work, she feels a cold shiver run down her spine. She has the overwhelming sensation of being watched, of being followed. She quickens her pace, her heart pounding in her chest, her eyes darting nervously from side to side. As she reaches a particularly dark and deserted stretch of road, she glances over her shoulder and sees it. The shadow figure, taller and more menacing than ever, is standing in the middle of the road, blocking her path. Emily freezes, her breath catching in her throat. The shadow figure takes a step toward her, and Emily can feel the coldness emanating from it. Terror lends speed to her feet, and Emily breaks into a run, her heart pounding in her chest. She can hear the shadow figure behind her, its footsteps soundless but unmistakable. She glances over her shoulder and sees that the shadow figure is gaining on her, its form stretching and contorting as it moves, with an unnatural fluidity. Emily ducks down a narrow alleyway, her lungs burning, her legs screaming for respite. She presses herself against the cold brick wall, trying to catch her breath, trying to silence the frantic beating of her heart. She peers cautiously around the corner and sees that the shadow figure has stopped at the entrance to the alleyway. It stands there, motionless, its form shifting and swirling in the dim light. Emily knows that she can't stay here, that she has to find a way to escape, but the shadow figure blocks her only exit. She is trapped. Suddenly, the shadow figure turns its head as if sensing her presence. Emily shrinks back against the wall, her heart pounding in her chest. She closes her eyes, praying that the shadow figure won't find her. A moment later, she hears a noise behind her. She opens her eyes and sees that the shadow figure is no longer at the entrance to the alleyway. It has vanished. Emily takes a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. She knows that she's not safe, not really. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more terrifying tales. Share your own shadow people experiences in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the shadows.